Hi everyone, welcome to Reading with Reference. My name is Katherine. I'm a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library, and today I've got 3 books to tell you about that are coming out this fall that I'm really excited to read. The first one is The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. Stuart Turton wrote one of my favorite books of 2018, The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which was a really weird and confusing and original time travel mystery. The narrator in that one is technically the same person throughout, but he keeps waking up in the bodies of different guests at a creepy mansion, and this will keep happening endlessly until he solves the mystery of who killed Evelyn Hardcastle. It's a little bit Agatha Christie, a little bit Life After Life by Kate Atkinson, but totally unlike anything I've ever read. So I was super excited to see that Turton had a new one coming out this fall. That's The Devil and the Dark Water. This one is set in 1634 on a ship to Amsterdam. The story follows a detective named Samuel Pipps who is set to be executed for a crime he maybe committed and maybe didn't once the ship arrives. But then once he and his loyal bodyguard Errant Hayes set sail, devilry starts to crop up around the passengers, and 3 of them are marked for death, including Samuel, which leaves Errant to become the detective and solve the mysteries of what's going on and if demons might be responsible. This sounds just as wacky and suspenseful, but in a different way as Turton's first novel, and I can't wait to read it. It comes out on October 6th. The next book I'm going to tell you about is Just Like You by Nick Hornby. Hornby has been one of my favorite authors for well over a decade now, and it's been about 5 years since he last released a novel, which was Funny Girl, so I've been itching for something new by him. This one, which comes out on September 29th, sounds a little bit different from his others, a little more domestic drama maybe than his best-known titles like High Fidelity, About a Boy, and Juliet Naked. This one follows Lucy, now in her early 40s, who's just realizing that trying to treat her romantic life like she's following a script hasn't really worked out for her. Her marriage is just about over, her 2 sons are in school, and she's at a bit of a loss for what to do next. Then she meets Joseph, who's 22, living at home with his mother. She's mostly looking for someone who can babysit her kids, but what she finds instead is love in maybe the most unexpected person. They have nothing in common, their age, their class, culture, or really anything. But as Lucy is finding out, that often doesn't dictate where real connection comes from. The jacket says this book is brilliantly observed, tender, but also brutally funny, which sounds exactly like the kind of book that I love, so I'm really excited for this one. And then finally, I'm looking forward to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I actually first heard about this book from a Major League Baseball player's Twitter, which is honestly not how I usually find out about new books. But this one came highly recommended by Sean Doolittle of the Washington Nationals, who's super smart and funny, even if he does play for the Phillies rival. Beyond his recommendation, though, this book sounds totally fascinating on its own. It begins in 18th century France and tells the story of Addie LaRue, who makes a bargain that will allow her to live forever, but will also result in her being forgotten by everyone she ever meets. I love that premise alone. It's not one I've ever heard before or come across, but what really fascinates me about this book is the last line of the summary that the publisher has provided. It says, "Everything changes when after nearly 300 years, Addie stumbles across a man in a hidden bookstore and he remembers her name." Everything about this sounds so right up my alley, and I can't wait to start reading it. It comes out on October 6th. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Hopefully you are reading something really great for this weekend. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.